God, there is no God.
Without God, there is no God.
Remember, without God, there is no God.
Guys, guess what? Without God, there is no God.
Tell me one thing you like about Brian Baldwin.
Without Brian Baldwin, there is no Brian Baldwin.
Would you rather get eaten by a shark or eaten by a lion?
Be yourself. Awkward is awesome.
He who is flexible does not get bent out of shape.
Everyone ends up somewhere, but few people end up somewhere on purpose.
Great Commission. The cause.
Would you sell one eye for $1 million?
Hey Ryan, that's you witnessing to some kids in Belize like you do so well. And I'm supposed to say that God's greatest attribute is that He is holy.
Hey Brian, how much longer? Oh, wow, 5 more minutes. 30 minutes later. 5 more minutes.
Alright, yo.
You are holy.
You are mighty. Greg. Oreo. Hey Brian, it's a blessing working for you. I am Gregorio, and I will miss you. And you share with me that you won't be coming back to Belize. We love you.
Hey Brian, I know it's probably a little tough for you and your family to move on from this youth group, and I know that I will miss you personally, but just know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, God is using you to send a ripple into eternity.
My favorite memory is whenever I went skiing with Brian and he left me on the mountain all alone.
You've made such a huge impact on my life. You've shown me that without God, there is no God. I'll never forget the awesome times we've had playing in youth band or shredding the gnar on the mountain biking in the Colorado Rockies. We're going to miss you, but I know that God has a huge plan for you. So go out there and love Him and make Him known. Much Jesus love.
What is your favorite thing about Brian Baldwin?
He's open.
One of my favorite memories of Brian was my second year in Belize, and we were performing the drama at the Maya King Farm. And before the drama started, we were going around and inviting people to come watch and sharing the gospel with them when we had the chance. And I remember I was in a group with Brian, and we had our translator, and we found our way to the second floor of this building where the people lived. And I just remember finding ourselves surrounded by a group of men, and they were coming back from work, so they all had machetes in their hands. And they encircled us, and I just remember as a little 16-year-old, like, I was terrified and so intimidated. And I remember Brian, like, leaning down to me and whispering, like, you should share the gospel with them. And I'm like, no, Brian, like, this is your job, you can do it this time. And he's like, no, you just need to do it. And so after much convincing from Brian, I finally did it. And I just remember being so thankful that he pushed me to do that, because it was an awesome experience and something that I wouldn't have done otherwise. And so I'm just really thankful that Brian is someone who encourages us to share our faith.
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. My favorite memory with Brian is when I was a 7th grader on Dare to Share, and the tire exploded in our bus. And then we had to ride in minivans the whole way to Chicago. It was a great trip.
My favorite Brian memory was when we were at Lead the Cause. He helped me find my way to Christ.
Hey Brian, I just wanted to let you know how thankful I am for you and how welcomed you made me feel in the youth group whenever I first joined, and just how welcomed you made my friends feel. A lot of my best memories from middle school and high school are with our church, and I'm just gonna really miss having you around, but I know that God's gonna do big things at Oklahoma City, so I'm excited to see what happens. Much Jesus love.
Brian, I just wanted to tell you that I'm gonna miss you so much, and that I already do, and I know that the Lord has an amazing plan for your life and for the life of your family in this new job, and that He will use you in His own way, and I pray that that will just be awesome and that so many people will come to the Lord through that. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me in this youth group and helping me open up and share my faith. You've had a deep, deep impact on my life, and I thank you for that. Bye.
One of my favorite memories of the Baldwin family is when I first met you. Mackenzie was a baby. I remember meeting you at the welcome reception, and I just walked over and Mackenzie came right to me, and I just loved your family from day one. Good luck and God's blessings with you.
My favorite memory with Brian was this past summer at Lead the Cause. On the last night, he anointed us all with oil and prayed over us, and it really meant a lot to me because Brian is the first youth pastor I've had that's really made an effort to get to know me personally.
So, my favorite memory-ish is seeing, like from 8th grade, Belize, my first year, to now seeing how shy I was back then and how scared I was to talk, and how much you pushed me then to open up and get out of my comfort zone. And all throughout this whole time, I've been in the youth group, and seeing now that we're in Belize now, how much I've changed and how much I've been able to open up and actually talk to people is really cool. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brian, for being my youth pastor since 7th grade. I can't thank you enough for showing me how to evangelize and share your faith. Without you, I couldn't be doing the stuff I've been doing now. You have trained me to be the godly woman I've become today, and I can't thank you enough for that. I love you, Brian.
My favorite memory of Brian is when you were in Belize and you threw the gospel tracts out the window to the kids and you almost ran over all of them and killed them.
What is one thing you like about Brian Baldwin?
I like how he cares about the student ministry.
Okay, so my favorite memory is probably when he told us the story when he was driving the bus that how he's a kid and that he said he was a Mormon.
My favorite Brian moment was back in my sophomore year of Falls Creek when I went up and spoke at the end of the weekend. You kept turning off my microphone because you wanted me off that stage.
Hi, Mr. Brian. I'm so excited for you and your next adventure in God and what He's got in store for you. And I remember 9 years ago when you came, so young, so excited and so on fire for God. And here you are 9 years later, still young, and even more on fire and excited for God. And I think about our students, and we couldn't even begin to count the number of lives that you have either led or that they have led through your instruction, the people to Christ, to better the kingdom. And I just, I'm thankful, I'm humbled to have had the opportunity to work with you and to grow a lot with you as well. And I just wish you the best of luck. Love you, love you, love you.
My favorite Brian memory is that he never tells you not to do something. He says, I strongly recommend that you do not do this.
Hey Brian, it's your favorite intern here. So I think my favorite memory with you, there's so many, but one of my favorites is when we were in Guatemala and you did an open air preaching thing, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, and it was really inspiring, and it just shows who you are. That's your heart is evangelism. So gonna miss you. Bye.
So my favorite memory of you is we're standing on the beach in St. Bite, and there's a huge rave going on, and the music is so loud. It's in this giant tent, and all of a sudden the music stops, and the guy over the speaker says, we have a guy here, Brian Baldwin from Oklahoma. And then all of a sudden your voice comes over the intercom, over the speaker, and it's like, hey, we've got a drama here out on the beach we'd love for you to watch. Priceless.
Much Jesus love.
Much Jesus love.
Much Jesus love.
Much Jesus love.
Much Jesus love. Much